At 7:30, we got the second to last bowl game of the day. We got UCLA, who's 7-5, taking on Boise State, who's 8-5. UCLA favored by 4.5 points on ABC. Dante Moore has gone 114 to 213, thrown for 1,610 yards, 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Carson Steele had 167 catches for 167 carries for 846 yards and 6 touchdowns. Logan Loya has had 58 catches for 650 yards and 5 touchdowns. Taylon Green for the Broncos has gone 121 to 212, thrown for 1,752 yards, 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Ashton Gentry has had 204 carries for 1,266 yards and 14 touchdowns. And Eric McAllister has had 47 catches for 875 yards and 5 touchdowns. UCLA is 1-0 against Boise State all time. They played in 1999, and UCLA kicked Boise State's butt. They won 38-7. I think there's two really interesting aspects of the game. The first thing is how these teams started, right? Because they started out very differently. You look at where UCLA was like a month ago, and you look at where Boise State was a month ago, and you're thinking these are two very different football teams, right? UCLA was on the up, right? Like, this looked like a really good UCLA team. This was a team that could compete for a Pac-12 title. Then it all came crashing down. And outside of the one win against USC, this was a very disappointing end to the year for UCLA, for a team that started off so strong, especially losing to Cal, and not only losing to Cal, but getting blown out by Cal in their last game of the season was heartbreaking. Then you go back to Boise State, and you look at where they were not that long ago. They were sitting at like 4-5. They just fired their head coach, and it looked like Boise State was a mess. That Boise State team would go on to win the Mountain West title, and the interim head coach was just named the full-time head coach. It was a phenomenal turnaround. Again, it's Boise State. Of course they won the Mountain West. Who would expect anything different? And Air Force was undefeated at one point. Fresno State was undefeated for a large portion of the season. UNLV was at their home stadium. They were favorites. Doesn't matter. It's Boise State. Boise State is the Mountain West. They just win it so much, and they are such a consistently good team. That was the one thing you want to look at, is like how these two teams have gone downhill, right? One went downhill, one went uphill, and I think that's really interesting to look at. The other thing to look at is both the starting quarterbacks for these teams are not going to be playing. Dante Moore is entered the transfer portal, and Taylon Green has officially announced he's going to Arkansas. So it's like both these teams are going to be in a little bit of an interesting situation, as they both have to find their next quarterback. Dante Moore was supposed to be that guy for the foreseeable future for UCLA, right? He was a true freshman. He was starting. But he ended up having a poor end to the year. And he ended up getting benched for another guy, and that trade chased him away. And now UCLA has to scramble and figure out what they want to do long-term at the quarterback position. They have some guys this year that are ready to play, but that's not going to be a long-term solution. Same with Taylon Green. Taylon Green was the guy there. Luckily for Boise State, they have a true freshman that they really like. And this is a chance to get the first look at him, because he's going to be the quarterback for them next year. UCLA is favored in this game. This is the LA Bowl. But the Mountain West has won every single LA Bowl since they've started. To be fair, it's been 2. But Utah State beat Oregon State, I believe. And then last year, I forgot, but Mountain West team won there as well. This is just, since its creation has been Mountain West's thing to lose, even though Pac-12 is normally favored every single time. The Mountain West has been the team. Boise State is probably the best Mountain West team. They're playing their best football right now. Both these teams are going to be without their quarterback. It could be a little bit sloppy play early. That might lead for a defensive battle, which both lends to both their sides. I really like Boise State, though, in this one. I think they're the better team, and I like Boise State to pull off the upset and win this bowl game.